That the Oilers and the Oiler organization, players, coaching staff, and I'm sure the people of Edmonton are thinking of those families in La Loche and the people in Saskatchewan. Know those people fairly well. They're strong. They'll get through it. But real important that they know that we're well aware of it and we're thinking of them. Corpy?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. There's a chance he can, yeah. We'll see how he is after the skate, and if he's capable, he will.
Did you cringe kind of like everyone else when you saw Matt's protective cup after the game?
Well, I didn't go looking for it, I can tell you that.
I heard everyone was coming at
Yeah, well, I wasn't one of them. I happened to see it online after, so I think, any male would cringe. But it's part of the game. That's why there is protection there, and he recovered well, and we move on. I cringe all the time now when I see guys go down because we've had so many go down and never get back up. So it's over and above just that one incident. So.
Can you speak of his toughness, because that kind of exemplifies the type of guy that he is, to be able to take a shot like that, and then come back and play with it.
Yeah, he, as I said in Dallas that night, he drives our team when it comes to those intangibles of toughness and commitment level and pushing the envelope as far as fatigue and injury and bumps, bruises, sacrifice. I can go on and use all kinds of adjectives, I guess, to describe him, but that is something our team needs. It's something every team needs, but we really need that as we take some of these younger players and move them forward. It's not always about scoring the goals or being the first star or the second star or anything like that. It's all those other little things that often go unnoticed. Nobody would be talking about his block shot if a piece of his equipment wasn't destroyed today.
With regard to blocking shots, I mean, you guys preach being in shooting lanes, and obviously blocking shots is part of the game, but guys are getting hurt. So is there a way for guys to do it to minimize the risk, or is there a way to ask them to do it so that it's okay if you got to protect yourself a little bit?
Well, we want our players to do it. It's a mandatory thing around the league. You don't see anybody opening up and letting Shea Weber shoot. Although if you're going to get in Shea Weber's lane tonight, it's going to take a lot of courage because he can bomb it. And I think there is a technique to doing it properly that we never get to practice because who's going to throw their players in front of one-timer shots. But it used to be back in the day, I see Stewie and Johnny back there, the guys used to come out and leave their feet and line their shin pads up on the ice, and their head and their hands were out of the way, and Al McGinnis wouldn't break anything other than kneecaps and shin pads, toes maybe. Then it went to the stand-up style, and now it's gone to kind of turning sideways and going down to one knee. And I don't like the sideways, personally, I don't like the sideways down to one knee scenario because you take your hands and you lower them to a puck level. If you stay up on your feet, you're mobile, your hands are up a lot higher, and you're likely not going to get hit. So there is a technique to it. Everybody has their own way. I don't know why a lot of the younger players are going down sideways on that one knee, but it's epidemic, and that's where a lot of guys are getting their hands broken.
So bringing the sponge pucks out at some point?
We tried it in Detroit. It's a disaster. Yeah, it's a disaster. You may as well just shoot them at each other when they're not looking. Like the pucks roll sideways, and it's not even worth it because the sponge pucks don't work on the ice, not one bit.
Are guys adding any, with that new style in mind, adding any extra padding
Some
to protect that face of their body?
Some are, some aren't. I know there's some that sew on a like a pad on the face of their hand, but it really doesn't protect your fingers because you've got to be able to flex and move. Gloves are becoming lighter and lighter, and there's really nothing to them anymore. Guys go through them. Some guys go through a pair every 2 weeks, I think now. So that's how light they are and flexible they are. And I think again the technique part, when you go down on one knee, you tend to have your stick in one hand and the other hand's open. When you stay standing, a lot of times you're like this, and you might have more padding on the backside than the front. I don't know, but some guys are doing it. Some guys are trying to protect, just like the shot blockers on the feet. They're trying things, but we haven't been too successful. I think Milan Mihailik broke his finger again yesterday, so, you know.
Todd, as banged up as your group is, specific adjustments or, matchups that you're looking for versus?
Well, it's every night for us right now. We're trying Benny Pouliot in the middle. He hasn't played there a lot throughout his pro career, a little bit in junior. But we don't have a lot of other options, so we're trying to do that. And obviously we'd like to, to protect him, especially here at home, from maybe a Johansson or something like that. But once you start to protect one group of players, you leave another exposed. And we'll try and do certain things to help Benny out in the center ice position. But after that, it's game on for the rest of the lines, and they have to get the job done.
Is there any more urgency to this game because the break's coming up, or is it just
This game scares the hell out of me all the time. Your team is either really, really in it and they're focused, they got an energy knowing they've got a little bit of time off, or they're already off. And, so I hope I believe our group will come and compete real hard. You'd always prefer to have both teams going on their break right away, but I think Nashville still has 2 more games and a lot of road trip left, so their minds they're quite a ways down the road from their break.
What did you see in Nail's game the other day to move him up and keep him up there for this game?
I thought Yak was completely engaged and responsible defensively early in the game in Dallas, and he got the opportunity to go up.
What do you want to see from Reinhardt?
Just a solid game. I'm not going to give you a long list of things that I want to see from Griffin. He's coming back, and he's going to play his first game in a long time. He's going to play, his 15th or 16th NHL game. So if I give you a long checklist and he happens to hear about it, I don't need to put that pressure on him. So just a good, solid game.
It's been a while since you played Nashville. They got a lot of experience down the middle already. A little bit different team to prepare for now that Johansson's there as well.
Yes and no. I thought early in the year they had a ton of confidence when we played them, and then rolled over from last year. You could see their team really playing well. I don't know where their game went after that. It's been so long since we played them, but I do know they played pretty well in Winnipeg the other night. And Johansson does give them that big, strong centerman down the middle. They lost a very good defenseman, but they're so deep back there. They've got 21 goals from Weber and Yossi. That's more than all of our D put together. So they're very, very deep there. And it gives you one more offensive piece to worry about, and certainly the size.
Cassie and Letestu and Puckarine and giving you some pretty good minutes lately.
They have.
Some pretty good physicality as well.
Yeah, they've played hard. They've played very responsible. They've been able to produce some offense. They grind out their shifts. It's nothing really cute with those 3. And it's nice to have a bit of a grind line. A lot of times we've got some fiddlers and playmakers, but it's nice to have somebody grinding a little bit.
In the case of Reinhardt, he's still not 22, so he's still in the project stage.
Yep.
Yet some people kind of think he's behind schedule. Is he kind of where 21-year-old defenseman should?
Yeah, he's, we're in Edmonton. The organization hasn't performed at a very high level, so we have a number of young players that are playing right away, and we're getting so used to that here in Edmonton, unfortunately, that everybody that's taken in the first round should automatically play, 80, 90 games and be a star. That's not how it works. Players need time, especially defensemen. They need time to develop. Darnell's played a lot of hockey, and he's had some ups and downs. Our plan was to give him that time, but through injury and everything else that went on, he's been here for a long time. And Darnell, Griffin, those type of players, even Davey, they need time to develop. And some of the best defensemen in the league, Nick Cronwell, when I ended up going to Detroit, I think was coming out of a full year in the American League, and he won the Eddie Shore Trophy for the top defenseman. Played a full year there, and valuable. But we don't have that luxury right now.
Thank you.